Hello YouTube, this is MrSchylock once again, and this is part 2 of my Let's Play for Rome Total War Brutii faction. And since last time, the overall response to this Let's Play has been rather positive, from what I can see. So for the present, I will continue with this instead of the Shogun 2-1 which I was doing. And general, because I think you guys would appreciate this a lot more than the other one. So last time we have taken over a lot of Greece. Macedon is crippled, the Greek cities are crippled, and I think I have about 8 or 9 cities right now, and this is only turn 4 or maybe 5. I'm not too sure what number it was, but it's in that range. So, as usual, I am still continuing to attack stuff. The aggression never ends, and here I have armies from my back lines flooding into my front lines. This is something I need to keep on doing. In order for me to finish this campaign in a short amount of time, I need to have my stacks not run out of gas as they advance. And that requires reinforcements, both from my cities, which will not be in significant numbers, because in this game you can only train up 1 unit per turn at any given city. And a lot of my cities currently do not have the necessary training facilities to do very good units. So here, usually what I do, I move up the general first to make sure my stacks have enough movement points to reach the city, and then I move up the rest of my units. And there's one more thing I'm going to do. I'm going to put a severely depleted unit of peltists in the way of that Macedonian stack. The reason for that is quite simple. They will have to waste movement points to engage that peltist stack in order to get to my main stack, and hopefully by doing so, they will not be able to attack my main stack and sandwich them. That would be very bad. That would make my day very bad. So here I am going to go ahead and attack Segesta, I think. You may be thinking right now, why has the battle cut all the way to the victory screen? Well, when I was recording this, some weird bug happened and I lost most of the footage, so I might as well show something instead of nothing. So I just showed the victory screen there. That battle went alright for me. So I didn't go ahead and exterminate here because I need that population to recruit some troops with. For small settlements like that, under say 2,000, when you exterminate, the population usually goes down to about 400, and at 400 you cannot recruit any more troops. And since Segesta is a pretty frontline city for me, I needed to pump troops for me so I can continue my advances. Here, there are 3 more rebel settlements in this area, and I will have my troops go after those. And in other areas here, yeah, that's ending the turn here. So you can see my lone unit of peltists have managed to delay the Macedonians enough so that I do not get attacked this turn. And that is just long enough so that next turn I could attack the city, and that'll be that. And the Gauls want to trade with me. Trading with me is not free. It requires a bit of money. And every little bit helps. So, generals, yes, more generals is always very good. As soon as you have, and well, since like last time I said they were overpowered, I still stand by that. They have 2 hit points, their stats are vastly superior to any early game unit, their charge is simply devastating, they're so OP that I'm not even gonna make a joke about it because it simply would not be funny. So here I have a, I'm attacking Beulaura. The enemy consists of 1 general and a crap ton of militia hoplites. My army consists of a random mishmash of mercenaries and a general. I have quite a bit of cav, but in a city battle that's not exactly very useful. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this now. So first off, I'm going to make a lot of holes in the wall. Since this is a very large battle, that will be very wise. Make more holes in the walls than the enemy has infantry to fill, at which point I will go in. And another thing I will abuse is that whenever your missile units during a siege fire upon the enemy troops will start running around like chickens with heads cut off. any unit really, even enemy missile units. They will not stand and return fire. They will simply run around and avoid it. That's very useful in one respect, in that you don't get hit. And another respect that is very useful is that you can use it to position the enemy units. When you hit them, they will move, and if you're blocking, say, a gate, you hit them, they will no longer block the gate. It's that simple, really. So, and on top of which, I'm going to make 3 holes right now. So my troops will have very easy access into the city. Another reason why I'm doing this is that I'm facing a lot of militia hoplites. If you engage them in the front, you're basically asking to die. So you need to engage them on the side, or this is not going to work. And well, they are not exactly very maneuverable units, and that's the way of it. So, I noticed that this video has been receiving a lot more views than usual, and I found out why. Apparently some of you have posted on Reddit 2 times, I believe. One for this video and another for my barbarian invasion one. I'm not gonna really have an opinion about that, as long as, well, it helps my channel significantly. I'm getting a lot more views than I usually would, so yeah, thanks I suppose. Other things you could do that will help the channel, like, subscribe, etc. I know you guys have been on YouTube for a long time and would know how it works. And a growing channel creates a very happy Shylock. A very happy Shylock will probably post a lot more videos, so don't hold me to that, but it's probably gonna be that way. Okay, so here I have used my hostility to move that unit of militia hoplites so that my cavalry could enter the city, and now I have a very strong foothold to attack from. On the other side, I have moved in my mercenary hoplites. They can go. They can pretty much go toe to toe with any of the enemy unit right now. Enemy units here, even from the front, because they pretty much are the same thing except superior. I'm gonna have my Thracians move in from the front gate. I see that unit of hoplites there has moved to help out in other places, and that is basically how you go about dealing with hoplites. They are absolutely devastating from the front, but when you catch them from the side, they are basically a joke. There you saw the enemy general came out and they absolutely thrashed my Thracians. They're not exactly cheap, and they have horrible defense, but they do have a pretty damn good attack. That was rather unfortunate, but you have to take some casualties sometimes, right? Of course, if this battle is against a person on this kind of a map where there's city streets that are just begging for hoplites to just block, this battle will be rather impossible against a person, but against the AI who has absolutely no idea what it's doing, this is rather doable. So there's a lot more hoplites tied up on my hoplite, and a quick hammer and anvil will take care of that. So far, I hope that you guys have been finding my Let's Plays as not just another Let's Play where the guy is just playing the video game. I hope that you guys have been finding that it's more like a guy who's playing the video game like a boss. That's what I've been trying to do, and hopefully it's been entertaining and whatnot. I do realize last time my presentation was kind of bad. My voice was rather stuttery and whatnot. I'll just say that English was never my first language. It is my second language, although I am fluent in it right now. Every day when I talk, it's all fine. It's just that when I do my commentaries, weird things start to happen. I don't know why, but it does. Over time, though, it probably will get better. So just have patience with me there if it really bothers you. Hopefully the gameplay will make up for it in the meantime. There's a couple more units of militia hoplites at the town square. I will run my general past them, and then have units on basically everywhere. Let me make a cut now. So I've cut out a couple of minutes of me just moving my troops. So you can see what I have right now. I have cavalry behind the hoplites, and I have the hoplites coming on my pikemen and my hastati. Sometimes the AI will come out of the town square to attack you if you're close. Sometimes they won't. In this case, they didn't. And a quick surround finishes that battle rather quickly. Yeah. You can see where the kills all went to. Not a lot went to my hastati. Most of it went to my cavalry, even though it was a city battle. It just goes to show, when used correctly, how powerful cavalry could be. So here I am going to recruit some units and move on. I'm not worried about the Macedonian army at all, because even if they do siege my Beulaura on this turn, I can siege Larissa, their last city in the south, on this turn as well. So I can resolve the siege for Larissa before they can resolve the one for Beulaura. So at this point, Macedon is guaranteed to be screwed. I'm going to, of course, the next target for that army is Thrace. I will just have my reinforcements march that way as we speak. As for down south, ships are very important. Because, well, ships, units in ships move a lot faster than units on land, and since in this campaign map, things are not located very far from each other. Meaning, basically, everywhere really, you could go get from point A to point B in one turn, with point A and point B being cities. So in that case, it's usually not worth it to build large navies, because large navies will actually obviously cost you money, and money, well, is very important. Even though I have a lot of it, between my economic buildings and exterminating populaces, it's still not something to be wasted like that. Let me explain that a little bit more. Navies in this game, well, for me at least, is the main role of them is to move my troops from point A to point B. And since they can get there in one turn, it doesn't really matter if they live or die after that. So usually all my navies are just one ship. If they die, I don't really care, as long as they've dropped off their troops. And if they live, well, very good. There's a lot of rebels here and there though, so that's kind of annoying. So I see that Thracian stack right there. Well, hopefully they won't attack Aquincum. Yeah, Aquincum. But if they do, well, I might go after their homeland, since they have their armies out and about, just to punish them. So I am, of course, continuing the aggression. After I take Athens, I'm going to split my army that is currently sieging Athens. I will have part of it. Well, let's just go with the action here. I know this is a post-live commentary, but I probably should not give away too much as we speak. Yeah. So I'm gonna split this army here. I'm gonna have part of it go after Larissa. I'm gonna have part of it board ships and go after the rest of Greece's islands and whatnot. And I will wise up in a while to build a ship from Thessalonica. So this army that next turn, when this army finishes sieging Larissa, they will be immediately able to cross the Mediterranean and attack Asia Minor. So, well, I do have a lot of money right now. I am running a pretty good net gain every single turn. I can probably support a bit bigger military, but I don't know. So it's probably better to play it safe than sorry. And I'm just gonna hire the more important units, like Hastati and Equites and mercenaries when I need it, and keep everything else to a minimum. As you can see, most of my cities are garrisoned by one unit, and sometimes none, if I have a unit queuing up. So basically, what unit production does is that during the off turn, you get your unit. As soon as you click your end turn button, you get your unit. And so basically, if you have something queued up, but the city is currently ungarrisoned, you won't get it right next turn because you get it produced during the off turn. I hope that made sense. it was a little convoluted and whatnot. So the Thracians attacked me first. That was a little, well, that was good for me. I'll explain why in a minute. So that navy, the Greek navy, really scared the shit out of me. I had a whole army aboard that ship. I know this is kind of a risk doing what I'm doing usually, but usually it's not a huge problem, at least in my experience. So I was able to take care of that navy with 2 of my ships. The naval combat in this game, of course, is very I'm lost. Okay, let me just think of an adjective here really quick. Very unsophisticated. There we go. Yes. I was having trouble finding words last video. I hope that will not be too much of a problem in the future. So, you cannot fight them out, and since this is very hard difficulty, the auto-resolve will usually be very much in the AI's favor. Okay, so I saw that the majority of Thrace's army was chasing one of my units of Equites. I can have the rest of my army attack Tylus. However, I have 3 units, and sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. There was 1 unit of mercenary cultists right there, so I get my magical number of 4. And 4 is the number of units that is necessary to build a battle ram in 1 turn, battering ram in 1 turn. So, and I can attack next turn instead of waiting 2. In which case, that Thracian army will have time to get back here. Here is slightly unfortunate. My army, due to the presence of the Thracian army, could not reinforce my general. However, once again, it's better to be lucky than good. I can hire a unit of mercenaries. And that is how I'm going to reinforce the majority of my armies in this campaign. Because mercenaries, you can hire them anywhere, and the only downside to them is that you cannot replenish them, and they are quite expensive. But the benefits far outweigh the costs, so it's always beneficial, really. So here I have my general and my single units of Illyrian skirmishers up against 3. This battle will more or less showcase how overpowered the general can be when played right. The general here will probably get something along the lines of 200 kills, I think. Something like that. The generals here are slightly inferior to the ones in Barbarian Invasion. Those have like 25 armor, which is 25 defense in total, which is absolutely insane. Here they have like 10, and they will 10ish, and they will die. And you have to be a little careful with them. So I sent in my general first, and he took quite a bit of Pila. Rather unfortunate, but here comes my infantry. Even though they are skirmishers, I'm just going to use them as melee infantry in this battle. Because they're fighting identical units, it shouldn't really matter how good or how bad their stats are, because they are identical. And for infantry, for me, basically serves the purpose of just being the anvil to the hammer. They don't really need to get any kills because my cavalry are much better than that.
Press forward,
so there we go. There goes the AI general, and now I will move into the town square. Hopefully. It takes a while to kill these guys off. It's just annoying, really. And it's almost like your guys are singling out one guy to target and not just killing anyone just that's in front of them. It's kind of annoying though, and I think they fixed it in the later games. It is very annoying though. So there's 2 more units at the town square. If I can help it, I would rather not fight at the town square because, well, units at the town square do not rout and they will fight to the death, and that is very no bueno. Especially since I killed the general, the AI units will have inferior morale compared to my own. So here, what I'm trying to do is to bait them out of the city a bit. And once they're far enough out, I will engage them so that on the route back to the town square, which will happen, I can take out the majority of them. I had to do this twice though. The first one failed, and the second one succeeded. And since this is nearing the end of the video, I will, as usual, talk about some more logistical stuff. I have gotten the first dislike of in this channel's lifetime. I know, right? I think I've said this many times before. If you have criticism for me, please don't hesitate to post it. I would much rather have a constructive criticism than random dislikes. I know I'm probably gonna get more in the future as this channel grows, but still, it's better to, you know, have criticism than just random dislikes. And of course, if you see me doing anything that you would consider noobish, please point that out to me so that I could correct it. I do not stand for noobishness on this channel, and will exterminate them as I see them. And there is the end of the battle, as usual. Well, this one's a heroic one. Not as usual, but I think you guys get my point, even though it's not very clear. So I'm gonna enslave here, and this is the second video. I will put out the next one soon. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I will see you guys next time.
Sir, General.